Welcome to T-Bone's Best of Roanoke show. Music, comedy, and conversation featuring HB, the Honey Badger.
Honey Badger don't care.
Now, on with the show.
HB, the Honey Badger, are you ready, sir?
I'm ready, T-Bone.
Me too. You know what? This is Radio Free Roanoke, and this is episode 162, T-Bone's Best of Roanoke show. HB, before we bring on our special guest, master musician Tom Floyd, I got a little story for you.
All right.
A lot of times when I'm out and about downtown, people come up to me and they say, T-Bone, how in the world do you get these guests on your show? Where do you get these people from? And I tell them, well, I don't tell everybody this, it's kind of a secret, but we have an unlimited budget for talent scouts. And it just so happens our number one talent scout, Lynn McGee, is sitting right here. He's also a friend of the show. Hello, friend.
All right.
T-Bone, Badger.
Yes, sir. Linwood.
But I'm just here so I don't get fined.
All
Well,
right.
thank you for turning us on to Tom, and we're here at Tom's lovely house. But Linwood, would you do the honors of introducing your friend and our special guest today, Tom Floyd?
This is Tom Floyd, the man about town, the man, the master keyboardist who has done some amazing work with his keyboard. He's also arranged songs. He's also put some gospel Christmas music into some pop kind of themes. He is the man of music.
Ooh.
All right.
Tom. Good job, Linwood.
Thank you.
Hey, welcome, sir. You live here now in Salem, and you've worked as a musician, I take it, for a while. True or false, do you have anybody in your family that was also a musician?
My mother was a piano player and a singer. So I grew up listening to her, but I didn't start as a child. I was always interested in baseball as a kid. I was going to be a major leaguer like Mickey Mantle, but that didn't work out for me, so I went into music.
There you go.
Well, you could be the organ player at Yankee Stadium.
There you go.
Now, you've been a musician. Do you do this professionally?
Well, I would say semi-professionally. It's all I do now. I had a career in the mortgage business, and I retired from that. So now music is all I do, and it is like a full-time job to me now. As far as the stuff that happens behind the scenes, looking for jobs, arranging your music. Doing set lists and arrangements for tunes and stuff. All that stuff takes a lot of time, but it's a labor of love. It's something I really enjoy doing.
So you can do all that, and you have somewhat of a studio, I take it, here at your home.
Yeah, I have converted one of the bedrooms in my home, and what I do is I was a music major in college, so I had classes in arranging and composing, and was planned on being a music teacher, but that never really worked out. I went into sales after that, but I've always played music. Even during college, that's kind of what I did to have extra money on the side. Was I played in bands, and I have my whole life ever since I started.
Where'd you go to college?
Went to University of North Carolina at Greensboro, UNCG. Nobody knows that, so I'll say it like you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Greensboro.
There you go.
But it has a great music school there, and I got a lot of good education.
So we know you play keyboards, we know you play piano very, very well. Any other instruments you play?
Well, oddly enough, when I was in college, trumpet was my instrument. So I actually majored in trumpet. And when I graduated, I switched to piano. Now, today, if you handed me a trumpet, I couldn't play it because you have to have, have to practice a lot and keep your embouchure or your lips in shape. So it's funny because I still remember the fingers, but I don't play. It's strictly piano and keyboard now is all I do, and I figure I don't do that as well as I would like to, so I just keep working on that.
Yeah.
Do you practice?
Oh yeah, I practice a lot.
Have you practiced today?
I have.
How much? How long?
Oh, today I haven't done a whole lot, probably a half hour, 45 minutes.
Would you say you practice every day?
Pretty much. I mean, I take days off,
Yeah.
but I practice.
But you keep it very, very new.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
tickle
do.
the ivories.
Yeah,
Occasionally. Yeah.
exactly.
Often. Yeah.
Is there any type of music that you like to play, Tom, when it's just you and you're just for fun? What would you play?
Well, I've always been, my first love is jazz. So I'm a jazz player first and foremost.
Yeah.
And anything else I do kind of will have a little jazz sprinkled into it. As Lynn mentioned, I'm lucky enough to go to a church where they allow me to do the music once or twice a year, and we will get a little combo and arrange either some hymns or some pop tunes that I can make that have some sort of meaning beyond the pop world and take it into the religious context.
Wow.
And I'll arrange that for choir, and they'll also let me play some numbers with my jazz trio. So, but then we put a little bit of jazz into it.
What's the instruments in that trio?
Most of the times, my preferred trio is piano, bass, and drums.
Okay.
Which is kind of the standard, like Bill Evans and all the great piano players. That was their trio. But I have done trios where I will cover the bass part, and I'll play with me playing bass and keyboard at the same time. Yeah, I'm doing visuals here like people can see me, but they can't. I know. And then we'll have either a guitar or a horn player and then a drummer. So that it sounds like more is going on when you do it that way.
Yeah.
The name, Tom Floyd Trio.
The Tom Floyd
How'd you come up with
Trio,
that name?
It took a lot of soul searching. In fact, it's kind of funny. I went on a little mission lately to try to change the name of the group. And I've talked to some folks and trying to get some different ideas because currently with the Tom Floyd Trio, what I'm trying to do is most jazz players play a standard set of tunes, kind of called the American Songbook or the Real Book, that sort of thing. And I'm wanting to update the repertoire a little bit and play something a little different. So I thought maybe the name of my group should be a little different. But it hasn't happened yet, so that's a TBD. But I do, the trio is on Facebook. I have a Facebook page for the Tom Floyd Trio, and I have a web page for it as well. So anybody who wants to keep up with me, certainly I will post my performances there because the biggest thing when you're a jazz player is getting people to come out and support jazz.
Is there venues in this region, Tom, where a jazz trio like that could go out and people could come see them?
Yeah, I've been pretty fortunate in terms of I've played at several of the local breweries, at Parkway, at Twisted Track. They will have my group there. I am one of the people that plays at Hotel Roanoke, so I'll play dinner music there. But again, it's me, bass, drums, and piano, and we just take the jazz and kind of tone it down and make it real mellow. But there's still hopefully always that underlying jazz in there.
Mountain Lodge.
Oh yeah, at Mountain Lake, I'm one of the in the rotation there that I play there once a month.
Greenbrier?
I play there occasionally. I've also been in the rotation at the Homestead, which that's a solo piano gig. So I also like to play solo piano as well.
Okay.
There's a very nice YouTube video I was telling you about that. You play "Lean on Me," and to my ear, in the middle, that is you on it, right?
Yep.
And you insert some jazz snippets in there. I liked, and then you get back and have the big finish. But it's very nice, very well done.
Well, I appreciate that. That was from one of the Covenant Presbyterian performances. They video all the services, and they cut that part out. So that's where that was one of those performances.
Once or twice a year, Tom does a whole jazz Sunday at church.
Jazz Sunday.
Jazz Sunday. Yes, yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful music, man. It's just unbelievable.
Wow. Okay.
Does that take a little bit of time to prepare for that, Tom?
It takes a lot of time. Unfortunately, I say that for me, is that when I'm doing one of those, I like to write something for the choir to sing. Covenant is one of the churches that still has the full choir, and I want to include them in it. So I have to write out their part note for note, because those folks, they're not jazz people, they're, read music. So I have to write out every note of every part.
Okay.
Presbyterians are frozen children.
Yeah.
But I tell you, one of the joys is when you spend a lot of time putting together an arrangement like that, and then the first time you actually hear it with the real voices it's a real rush for me, because those people put everything they have into it when they sing. I mean, the way they sing is from the heart, so it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it. But it does take quite a bit of time. I know my wife she'll always tell me, I know, Tom, it's July. You better start on the Christmas music now. I know how slow you are, but right?
Let's amp it up.
Yeah. Well, Tom, you said your mother played the piano, correct? And then, what is another influence? Was there any famous?
What happened is after I decided to join the band, and so they got me a private teacher, and I started playing trumpet. So a lot of my early influences were on trumpet. But I got into the jazz band. I was a super big Maynard Ferguson fan.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Doc Severinsen, who was on Johnny Carson. I mean, he was a fantastic trumpet player. So my first influences were on the trumpet, and then as I switched over to piano, again, I started following the piano players then. So it's like, Bill Evans, Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, people like that I listen to, and I'll never be able to play like that, but I can listen and try.
Yeah.
Do you, I guess someone with your skills, Tom, you've probably been in a few bands through the years, yes?
Absolutely. Well, in fact, I have a very wide range of experiences as far as when I was in college. I told you I kind of made my spending money. We put together a band of music majors, and we were playing the popular music of the day, which, back then, was top 40, and there was a lot of bands that worked, and so we played all popular music. And then I learned classical music on trumpet at college, and also got involved in jazz. That way, I have experience playing a lot of different stuff, so that it helps me that you could put me in a lot of different situations, and I won't say I'm an expert at everything, but I can kind of have some experience playing it. So that's how I can play a place like Hotel Roanoke or at Greenbrier or Homestead, because you have everybody from 10 years old up to 90 years old, and you don't know what kind of requests you're going to get. Could be anything from Charlie Brown up to, Claire de Lune, and you kind of got to be ready for anything.
And you can do that.
Well, and you play at the local breweries, too.
There's I get to play more of what I want to play. So those gigs are looser and they're more fun. So I prepare my stuff, which is a lot of kind of bluesy oriented stuff and a lot of jazz stuff.
short, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's another thing I want to start doing, and I've done it twice, is to feature an artist that I like a lot. I did a Horace Silver night. I don't know, he's not a super famous piano player, but he wrote a lot of fantastic tunes. And so I did a Horace Silver night where about a fourth to a third of our tunes were written by Horace Silver. And then I did a Wayne Shorter night because he recently passed away. And he was, of course, a giant icon in the world of jazz. That he was in Miles Davis's band, the most famous jazz band ever, I think. And then also was the leader of Weather Report, which was one of the bands that turned jazz from straight ahead into a more of a fusion style.
Fusion, yeah.
There was a band formed in 2018, and it's a Latin soul band, JSTOP.
JSTOP is a current passion that I have. I met the trombone player Joel Stopka. I would go to their gigs here in Roanoke, and I just love that music. It's Cuban influenced, cha-cha, mambo, merengue, that kind of stuff, and just fell in love with the music. And I don't know how it happened, but somehow their piano player disappeared on them or didn't want to continue on. So he asked me, did I want to join the band? And I said, absolutely, 100%.
Wow.
And so it's been a lot of fun. That the musicians are the best musicians in this area. I mean, it's a top level musicianship, and it's a very challenge for me to keep up with those guys. But I love it. In fact, a lot of my practicing has been around that because the style is very distinct as far as how you play the piano is different than how you play piano in jazz. In jazz, a lot of jazz, it's kind of laid back, and you just play chords. And with the Latin band, there's a specific pattern you play, and you have to be very aggressive, and I call it on top of the beat, as opposed to laying back. So it's a different style of approaching music, but it's so much fun, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, JSTOP has lots of videos on YouTube.
Yes.
And I was watching them, and you're right, the percussion, the horns, everything just pops. But at one point they go in on piano, Tom Floyd. So that's our guy.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times what will happen in the Latin arrangement, there's a lot of percussion. It's very lively music. It's very fun. It's made to dance to. It's made to be at a party. I mean, they're in their culture there in Cuba and Puerto Rico and places where it comes from. That's street music, and people play that with, whatever they can find.
Right.
But a lot of times the arrangement of the tune will be everybody's playing, and they stop, and it's just the piano. So all of a sudden you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Spotlight.
And you got to carry the ball. But it's fun.
Go, Tom, go.
It's fun. I really love it. I love it. I love the guys in the band. And and what we're doing is we're looking to play more of a concert type circuit. So we're looking to play, Elmwood Park. We have a gig coming up in July where we're playing. Stanton, Virginia has a Jazz in the Park series on Thursday night, and we're going to play that. Last year we played for Stepping Out in Blacksburg, and so we're looking to get into some of the bigger venues because it is a 9-piece band, so it takes a lot of
Oh, really?
Yeah.
takes a lot of people,
Oh,
a lot of stage to.
Is Rooster Walk something that's jazz? I don't. If you've heard.
I'm
that.
not really familiar with
I
that.
think they have a combination
Oh,
of
it's
a
over there.
lot of different
Okay.
type music.
I just didn't know.
I even think they have some reggae down there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's in
That's
Martinsville.
in Martinsville. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, JSTOP, one last thing on JSTOP. Do you have any idea what that stands for, JSTOP?
I know exactly what it stands for.
Could you share that with us?
The trombone player who started the band, his name is Joel Stopka. So JSTOP. Joel Stopka.
Okay. JSTOP.
Yeah, it's funny because when I first heard it, I said, "Well, that's kind of cool, JSTOP." I didn't realize, it's Joel's name. So
Yeah.
Another mystery solved.
yeah.
Yeah.
That gives me an idea for your next trio.
What's that?
Call it T-Flow.
T-Flow.
Like Tom Floyd.
T-Flow Trio.
T-Flow Trio. Does that not ring?
It has a ring
T-Flow.
to it.
All right.
Okay,
Just a thought,
good.
Tom. Just a thought. We'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
Now, tell me this. Do you do weddings or have you done weddings?
I have done hundreds of weddings in my life. I don't do that
Really?
many of them now. That's kind of a specific set of music, and there's a lot of requests and a lot of learning a song because it's mama's favorite song.
Oh.
And so I haven't done that much, but I can. But now I prefer it more to be the background band for the reception kind of thing, that I do not really do the dance part of it because I don't, we're not really a dance band. I think the DJs have kind of taken over that world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
One of the most fun nights I had listening to music, it was down at the Jefferson Hotel downtown, and they had dueling banjos. Have you ever heard of that concept?
I've seen a dueling piano show.
No, not banjos. I'm sorry, piano. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that when I was visiting in Washington, D.C. a couple of years back. And I tell you what amazed me was how many tunes those guys knew. That the one or the other one would know just about any tune, and I have never done that myself, but it is an interesting concept. I feel like I'd have to learn about 1,000 more songs first.
They are intense. I've seen they're intense.
They are, and I think you'd be swell at it. I mean, they write down the request, and they bring it up to you, and if they want you to play it first, they'll slip in a $5 bill.
That's right.
And,
That's right. I saw one guy doing that in New Orleans, and he was very clever. What he did is he had a board up there, and he would put your school name up there, but you had to raise the bid. So he started off at $5, then it went to 10, and then some guy said, he was from, I don't know, University of Georgia or something. He said, well, put me up there. And we got him up to $25. And I was going, wow, these people paying a lot of money just to see their I could have a couple of beers for that.
Yeah.
So what do you do in your spare time if you're not playing piano or not playing keyboards or practicing or out on the road with the boys?
Well, I enjoy where we live as far as I'm kind of a nature guy. I like to go out and ride on the parkway or take hikes or we have friends down at Smith Mountain Lake. It seems to be, I like to do outdoor things and enjoy, because I think we're really fortunate that I've been able to travel a little bit and seen some really beautiful places in the world, and I always tell my wife, well, we live in one of the most beautiful places, so I feel very fortunate to be here because I love the mountains and I love to enjoy the nature and doing that kind of thing.
Where are you originally from, Tom?
I was originally from Lynchburg, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So I grew up there, went to Greensboro for college, stayed in North Carolina for about 20 years, and now I've come back. And I wanted to get closer to the mountains, so I feel like Roanoke, we're right there. The big pitch on Roanoke is we got the Appalachian Trail and the Blue Ridge Parkway right in our own town, So
Yes.
we got the...
It's a beautiful place in the country. Everywhere. Me and my wife will go away and we come home and we're like, wow.
Yeah.
We do live in a beautiful place.
We sure do. And as we get ready to put a lid on it there, Tom, I'll go around here, but I got two last questions for you. When you travel, is there one place that just stood out to you that you would say, hey, this was a neat place to go visit? Is there one place you'd recommend? Other than West Virginia, perhaps.
No, well, I'll tell you, it was probably when I went to Israel. Because I am a man of faith, and then I go to Israel and I see the places where the Bible took place. It was very moving to me.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
I could see that. And then if you had to recommend to Linwood or HB and myself, hey, here's some music I kind of listen to that you might enjoy, who would you recommend? Who are you listening to right now? Anybody that you could recommend to?
I kind of go on binges of listening to the same thing a lot. And right now I'm listening to a lot of Steely Dan, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because I love Steely Dan, because they're kind of in a crack, and I want to do something similar to that, is that they're not jazz and they're not pop, but they're in between, and their chord progressions are very unusual. They don't follow the normal set patterns. They're very unique, and they really speak to me. And if you listen to the words of their songs, I don't know which one of those guys writes the lyrics, but they're very artful and creative, and they're just unique.
I remember buying the Asia album.
Yes.
That's my favorite album that they've done. Yeah.
Wow. So very cool.
All right, HBO, you got any last words?
I can't wait to see you play and see this 9-piece or whatever. Wow, I bet it's phenomenal. Yeah.
I saw them once at Parkway. Did the first set. It was just folks just sitting around. By the time the second set, everybody was up dancing. I mean, the place was packed.
I bet.
It was unbelievable. You just came out of the woodwork, man. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, they sound really good. Lenwood, any last words from you for Tom Tom?
Good to see my friend here. He didn't tell you all that he sings also, but that's okay.
Yeah,
we'll let that go. He sings also in the choir. Yes.
Got a great
like
voice,
I said,
too.
man of many talents.
Right.
We call him the Jazzmanian Devil.
Well, I'm wondering, where can I catch him at?
I don't have a whole lot on the books at the moment. I have my current gigs that happen all the time is I'm at Mountain Lake once a month.
Okay.
And that, I love to play there. That's, again, another beautiful place, kind of a hidden gem. It's 10 miles west of Blacksburg on 460. I play at Haywood's Restaurant in Lexington once a month. Oh. And that's a lot of fun. I play as a duet with Peter Matthews on bass. So it's just bass and piano. It's an upscale restaurant, and we play jazz. So we do that. And like I say, I fill in at Hotel Roanoke, and I have the Parkway, Twisted Track, and other places where, and again, I'll have it on Facebook, and so whenever I have a gig, I will put it out there. So, my final request to whoever is listening is to please support local jazz. There is in Roanoke a very deep pool of musical talent of a very high level. And the one thing that would help is to support and just be there. I mean, if you go, there's a restaurant. It used to be Blue Five. It's now called Too Chill. I have friends that play there. Big Lick Brewery. There's a lot of places. Chateau Marcet has music. Support that music and support those musicians, and look for the Tom Floyd Trio and JSTOP, and please come out and please tell me you heard it on this podcast. That would really mean something to me.
Yeah.
When is that in Stanton again? What the Thursday night jazz?
Yeah, the venue in Stanton.
That is August 24th, I want to say.
That's when it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's a great thing too. A gentleman named Lou Morrison, who's the bass player in Stanton, he's had this Jazz in the Park going for like 30 some years, and they have a Thursday night. It's a beautiful gazebo. The park is got mature trees, so you're sitting in the shade, and it's a lot of fun. That's a great venue there, and they're doing a good thing.
In Stanton. All right, we're going to leave it there, my friend. All the music on today's show is performed by you here in your home studio, so thank you for that. You're a wonderful treasure. God bless
Thank you so much.
Tom.
Thanks for your
Go
conversation.
get it.
Sir.
Go get it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.